The open seas have always been a realm of mystery, vast, unforgiving, and full of secrets whispered through the crashing waves. Among the countless tales of the ocean, few are as haunting and perplexing as the story of the Mary Celeste. The ghost ship found adrift, deserted by her crew, with no clear reason why. It was December 4th, 1872, when the British brigantine Dei Grazia spotted a lone vessel bobbing aimlessly about 400 miles east of the Azores Islands. Captain David Morehouse of the Dei Grazia recognized the ship immediately. It was the Mary Celeste, a fine American merchant ship he had seen in port in New York only a few weeks earlier. But something was wrong. She seemed lifeless. Cautiously, Morehouse and a few crew members boarded the Mary Celeste. What they found would ignite one of the greatest maritime mysteries of all time. The ship was in good condition, seaworthy, her cargo largely untouched. There was no sign of violence, no sign of disaster. Yet not a single soul remained aboard. The lifeboat was gone. Personal belongings were still in place. The crew had vanished into thin air. The Mary Celeste had left New York on November 7, 1872, bound for Genoa, Italy. She carried 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol, a valuable cargo, and was manned by a seasoned crew. Her captain, Benjamin Briggs, was a respected sailor with a reputation for caution and competence. He was traveling with his wife, Sarah, and their 2-year-old daughter, Sophia. A voyage that should have been routine instead became their final mystery. As investigators examined the ship, more strange details emerged. The ship's log was last updated 10 days before the Dei Grazia found her. It indicated nothing unusual, just routine entries about wind and weather. The Mary Celeste's condition suggested a hasty abandonment. The main hatch was secured, but some of the other hatches were open. The galley was in disarray, but food supplies remained plentiful. Captain Briggs' cabin was orderly, his belongings untouched, save for missing navigational instruments and ship papers. Perhaps most unsettling were the signs that life had only recently been interrupted. The crew's clothing, boots, and pipes were still aboard. Half-eaten meals rested on tables. It was as if they had simply stood up and walked away, leaving everything behind. Speculation about what happened ran wild, both among the authorities and the public. Pirates were an initial theory, but the cargo and valuables remained. Mutiny? There were no signs of struggle. Natural disaster? A sudden storm or rogue wave could have panicked the crew, but the ship showed no damage. Some wondered if alcohol vapors from the cargo had leaked and frightened the crew into abandoning ship, fearing an explosion. Yet there was no real evidence of such a leak. Even more bizarre theories circulated, from sea monsters to alien abductions, to supernatural forces dragging the crew away into another world. But all explanations, rational or fantastical, ran aground on the stubborn facts. A ship in good condition, a valuable cargo intact, and a vanished crew. An official inquiry held in Gibraltar struggled to reach any definitive conclusions. Suspicion briefly fell on the crew of the Dei Grazia, suggesting that they might have attacked the Mary Celeste to claim salvage rights. But there was no proof of foul play. Ultimately, the court awarded salvage money to the Dei Grazia crew, though significantly less than they might have expected, reflecting the lingering doubts that surrounded the case. The mystery of the Mary Celeste quickly captured the imagination of the Victorian public. Newspapers printed sensational stories. Writers, including Arthur Conan Doyle, crafted fictionalized accounts that further blurred the line between fact and fantasy. Over time, the true story of the Mary Celeste became tangled with myth, each retelling adding new layers of intrigue. In reality, the tragedy of the Mary Celeste is a tragedy of absence, an unanswered question that yawns open like the deep Atlantic itself. No bodies were ever found. No survivors ever told their story. The fate of Captain Briggs, his family, and his crew remains unknown. Yet some theories, grounded in historical research, offer potential insights. One of the most enduring suggests that the Mary Celeste suffered damage to her pumps, crucial devices for removing water from the ship's bilge. Some reports indicated that the ship's pump was found disassembled. It's possible that Captain Briggs, encountering rough seas and sensing that the ship was taking on water, might have ordered an emergency evacuation into the lifeboat, tethered to the ship by a rope. If the rope had snapped or come loose, the lifeboat could have drifted away, leaving the helpless crew watching as their ship sailed off into the distance. Alone in a small boat on the vast ocean, they would have stood little chance of survival. It's a heartbreaking but plausible scenario. Others point to the ship's cargo, industrial alcohol, as a potential source of danger. Alcohol vapors are volatile. Some speculate that a small explosion or violent vapor release could have terrified the crew, prompting a hasty evacuation without obvious damage to the ship. Fear, not reason, might have ruled in those crucial moments. Whatever happened, the silence of the Mary Celeste continues to call to us. Her later history only deepened the aura of misfortune that clung to her name. After being salvaged, the Mary Celeste returned to service, but struggled to find good fortune. She changed owners several times and ultimately met her end in 1885 when her final owner deliberately wrecked her off the coast of Haiti in an insurance fraud scheme. Even in death, the Mary Celeste could not escape scandal. Today, she remains a symbol of the unknown, a ship adrift between the worlds of the living and the lost. Her story speaks to something deeper than maritime mystery. It speaks to our fear of the unseen, our dread of the unexplained. Out there, beyond the horizon, lie questions without answers, fates without witnesses. Perhaps that is why the legend of the Mary Celeste endures. We are creatures of certainty, of stories with beginnings and endings. The Mary Celeste offers neither. She is a chapter that closes with an ellipsis, a door left open to the dark sea and the endless sky. And so, the Mary Celeste continues her silent voyage through our imaginations, her sails full of ghostly winds, her decks empty and waiting. A ship forever lost, not to the waves, but to the mysteries that dwell in the deep.